Have you ever wondered how you can make your own LEGO FNAF stop motions? Well, in today's video I'm going to show you how you can do just that with really awesome tips and tricks to make your animations perfect. So depending on what device you have, I have an iPhone, so we're going to go into the App Store and search up stop motion. This literally gives you all of the stop motion apps. The best one here is Stop Motion Studio. It's a free app and it literally will just give you pretty much all the tools you need to make a stop motion. So what you want to do when you get this is you just want to click on get and get it. Great, and now you have the app. So now what you want to do is you want to click on the open button to open up the application so we can check it out. So welcome to Stop Motion Studio. This is a really cool app. You want to click on new movie and you're pretty much set to go. Once you do this, it will literally just give you a straight up camera. You got to allow for your camera as well as audio recordings, etc. So as you can see, I'm in a dark area surrounded by lights. So as you can see, all these lights like this one, they all create like an LED cool effect. You can have these little big desk lamps that do like really cool backgrounds. This one here is LED, so it was like really gives a background effect and color. These can all be changed by my phone, so it's all really cool. This one here was about like 50 bucks. It was a Lenovo strip lamp, and then this one here was a desk lamp, little LED that cost 30 bucks. These can all be changed by my phone, like I said. And here you need to definitely make sure you're in a dark area. Now most people might actually have some curtains that don't block out all light. That's why it's important to put these sheets up, because you need a dark area to work in. Okay, now here's the important thing. What do you need? To begin, you're gonna definitely need one of these, a big set, or you can make a small one, a Lego, and just put walls on it to make like tiny little areas. This is very important because you need a set in the background to work on, or you can just work on your desk, but it looks messy. This is a tripod. You definitely need one of these. These are very important as it keeps the camera really steady, and you definitely need one because yeah, it literally helps with camera movements and everything. It keeps the camera stable, etc. If you actually don't have one, you can of course get and make one out of Lego, which is a really simple step. Now you need some characters. The characters are very important because you need a character or something that's moving around in your shot. See, I've got Bonnie here. Need something that just can go right in there and get the shot perfect. So now you've got all that, you need to definitely make sure you've got at least 2 desk lamps. These are very important because they create that cool atmosphere in the little area in front. The 2 desk lamps literally just shine onto the thing. One of them would be like the back and the sides, and the other one will be the front. That one normally is the back and it gets the most of it in the back. However, if you're like me, you just do that one and that one, as they create 2 nice little colored areas and create a cool atmosphere either way. So it's about time you literally just change the colors up to where you want them. So here we're in Lenovo Link Pro. This is my one for my LED light strip. So I'm just going to change the colors around. As you can see, you just rotate the thing around, find the color you want. I'm going to go for a type of reddish color, as I like red and blue. It's a nice mix. You've seen it quite a bit in my stop motions. Using that, you can literally just make it white, or you can dim it on those 2 little sliding things, as well as finding little scenes for whatever suits you. Just find what you want. I'm just going to rotate it until I find a nice little red. So here's our other app. This is for my little light bulb that just goes into my desk lamp. Now I'm just going to change this up and change it to the color I want. As you can see, it's pretty much the exact same settings as what the Lenovo one was. So I'm going to make it a nice blue color. It will suit the scene really well. Now let's get on to the fun part, which is shooting. This is fun. You can see my projects there. Just click on the new movie and you're pretty much sorted to go. I'm going to use Stop Motion Studio Pro for this, as this is the easiest way to do it. Some options here would not work without the Pro version, so I'll just tell you which ones you can use and you can't use. So get your tripod, and what we're going to do is we're going to change up a couple of settings, and we're going to grab our figure. So here's our figure. We got Freddy here, so we're going to stick him in the middle where we want him, and we're going to adjust our lights, just slightly get the right lighting for the right shot. So now we're going to get into our position on our camera that we want. So just slightly move it. You can zoom in by clicking on that settings icon. And what we're going to use is we're going to use manual, as we don't want an auto. I don't know if this is available for the free version. So if it's not, just leave it on auto and you can just tap on the character which you want the main focus on. However, in manual you can just focus on what you want, which we're going to focus on Freddy here. As you can see, it's mainly focusing on Freddy. Now if you can see here, we're going to go and look at these little things. I'm going to use 4K, or I can use 4K RAW. 4K is the highest definition quality. These two are the lowest. Those are the ones that are available for only the free version. So for the pro version you get 4K, etc. For your speed, you will start at this one, which is 5. This means 5 frames will play in a second, which is, yeah, that means that 5 frames will play in a second, which means it will be a very fast working thing. However, you can go all the way up to 20 and go up to 30. I recommend using 20. This is what I use for my stop motions. Pretty much only 20. I never drop the thing from 20. I haven't changed it in about a couple of months, maybe about a year. I've been working at 20. So yeah, when you're ready, you can just start on this. Just tap the little red button and you can move it. If you adjust this thing on the side, you can see just where the last frame was, so you've got the right amount to see the before frame and as well as the after frame, so you know what you're doing here. Now just keep on doing this. Eventually you're going to do something and it's going to look really cool. Anyways, we're going to just get faster, so we're going to push the head further away as we want it to go faster so that it's going faster. As you can see, I'm doing bigger distances to make the movement go faster. This is a tip that you want to use. It's very important, so make sure you do make the head or whatever you're moving higher if you want it to go faster. The higher or lower, whatever you would do it, is the faster it will go. However, you don't want it looking blocky, so you want it at least decent. Now we're going to want to slow it down. We're going to put it on Golden Freddy head so we can make it actually look really, really cool. So we're just going to switch that out for Golden Freddy's head. And now we're going to slow the frames down. So we're going to go back to how we were and just only slightly do it. We're just going to slowly slow it down so that the frames will look like they're just slowing its head down while he comes and looks at the camera. So just keep on tapping the button here and just keep on doing it until, yeah, you'll get there. Okay, so if you click that button on the side, you see the button that turns blue. That shows you the animation so far. It doesn't show you the entire animation if you're doing a long thing. So if you've got like hundreds of photos, it will only show you a little snippet of it, just so it doesn't waste your time. But as you can see here, we can do a couple of things. Like we can pause this frame, we can pause it for 10 frames, so that means 10 frames, so that'll be half of a second it will be paused for, because of the way the frame rate works. So that counts, it will pause for 10 frames. You can also edit it, chuck it into the editor, and just edit the text and say like hello or whatever. You can move it around and stuff. There's a couple of things you can do. You can change the fonts, etc. Click on format, you can just do all that stuff. Change the fonts, change the color, etc. and just do whatever you want. I personally don't really use this. I normally would only do it in the editor, because in my actual editor it will be way simpler. Okay, you can also click on like drawings and stuff. You can add a little drawing. You can draw whatever you want. Like you can draw like a lightning bolt or something if it was striking with lightning or whatever. But yeah, you can also add like these little shapes and stuff. Again, click on format, just changes it all up, and you can just do whatever you want, which is really cool. This is only available in the pro version, however, so you cannot get this in the free version. Sadly, you can also get later and stuff. But yeah, you can't get this in the free version. However, you've got all these, which is again pretty much all for the free, not for the free version, it's only for really the pro version. So now what you're going to do is you're going to hold it, click on export movie, and click on save video. This is very important, and click on 4K or HD, whatever you want it to. But this is important because it will then download your file. Okay, we've now finished it. So here is the video. Yeah, in my opinion, it looks really good. I've only paused this frame just because of the editing things, but however, you can see that it looks good. So, yeah, that's a simple tutorial. We're gonna enter into the editing stage of this. Okay, so now it's time to install our editor. So go onto the App Store and search up CapCut. You can do this on Play Store as well. And you just want to go on CapCut Video Editor, and you want to click on Download and Open. When you do that, you'll come here and you want to click on New Project and import the video you just had. Now we're into the editing stage. There is a couple of things you can do with the editing. There's some really cool things that I'm going to teach you. So to begin, you can already see that when he turns his head, we're going to make his eyes go and turn around too. We're going to make a glow eye effect. As you can see here, we can also edit how dark the shot is and the lighting in the shot. This is just basic, but depending on how the shot was taken, you might not want to do this, but you can if you want to. It's totally up to you. Now we are going to just go through this again. For example, shadows. Shadows is probably the best one, honest, in my opinion. I use shadows quite a lot, especially for like collabs and stuff. I normally just dim them down so they make it look better. But yeah, honestly, the shot looks very fine right now. Okay, so now it's going to be time. We're going to put in our little eye effect. Here is all my editing as well, and we're going to click on the eye, and now it's imported. So now to begin, we're going to just go over the eye right there. As you can see, it's just going on the eye. You want to do this for every frame, and you want to click on that little icon right next to the back button, the undo button. It literally creates a keyframe, and what a keyframe does is it does a movement between each frame. It's kind of like how you do 3D animation, if you guys have done that. However, yeah, it does a cool effect. You just want to keep on adding it each frame, and then when you get to the issue part, you can get little issues where it just isn't perfectly in time. So you just go over it and you just push them all into the eye to make a very smooth eye. Once you've done that, you just need to copy it down over. Once of course you fixed all this, you want to click on the copy button and you want to create a second one. Once you do that, it will literally create a second one. However, because it is an overlay, and it must be an overlay, It's way easier than stickers. You can just copy it below and you will just paste it. It'll paste next to it, so you will have to go all the way back, but you can just feel your phone vibrate or whatever. When it clicks into place, it should just stop and click into place with the other one, so that you're still back in time, like that. So yeah, now you just do the thing with the other one. So when you're doing this, it's pretty much the exact same. You're already going to have the keyframes where they should be, but because here's on a tilt and you can't see the other eye, you are going to have to clip it to where you can actually see the eye, just so that it doesn't overlay the part. It can happen, but it will look really weird, so you've got to clip it. Now with all the keyframes, you can just snap them into place. I had a little bit of issues here, so I'm just gonna delete those keyframes because they are just interrupting the cycle of it. So I'm just gonna delete them. Now you can see it's just going over and deleting them. To click on the delete button, it's just the exact same button as adding a keyframe. It'll go red when you're on it. That contains as a movement on that keyframe. You can't do it, but if you want to definitely make it a lot easier to do this, you need to click two hands and zoom in, because it makes it way easier and it makes more keyframes pop out. It literally stretches the thing out, which is great. So yeah, just keep on doing that until you get to the end. Okay, so now we've done that. So now, as you can see, it's got a really cool effect and it really works. It looks really cool and looks very accurate. We're gonna add a couple more stickers just to show you guys how it looks. Now, of course, we're gonna add in one of these stickers. I made all these stickers myself with editing. Of course, some of them are off Google, just edited by me. So yeah, most of these are by me, some of them aren't. This is a little effect that you can do. It's just simple. You add it in and click on overlay and just adjust it. Salvage SM actually, Stop Mob SM now. But yeah, he actually taught me how to do this, so shout outs to him. This tutorial actually is some of his techniques. So yeah, that just literally, if you change the color, it just creates a cool effect. You got to adjust it to where you want it, and if you don't have any lights, then it'll pretty much just turn it orange if you had orange on or whatever, for examples. So, but because I have lights, it doesn't really work. However, if you do want an effect, just make it fully white in your thing, and you can just change the colors in the editor. Masking will help a lot too if you want to do halves and halves. Another thing is you can just add like a camera and stuff. See, like I made this little template thing myself with a bit of editing, and yeah, you can just crop it over and just extend it out for the entire thing. Make sure you cut everything at the exact end of it, because otherwise then it creates issues and it will have a black screen afterwards. It's the same with the audio as well. So if you do add audio, then that will happen as well. Now for the next tip is how to make your character run. So pretty much what you want to do is you want to move that one stud and move his hands. Make sure he's in the lowest point, like farthest away from the wall, so you're not hitting the wall while you're running. You want to move the wall and not the character. If you got on a base plate, just move the wall and make the wall go to the side. Watch this. If you see, I take a shot, I move his hands, and I move the wall towards the right. If you want to go towards the left, then that just means it looks like he's running backwards. So yeah, and we just keep on doing that. Take a shot and do another one, take a shot again, and we're just going to keep doing this. Eventually you're going to want to put his arms to go down and switch the sides, otherwise then it's going to look too weird if he's just pulling the same arms up. this is the best way to do it. Do not do it lower than this height, because if you're doing it lower than this height, you have to contain actual, actual leg movements as well. So if you want to skip out the leg movements, which if you ask me is the best thing to do, because honestly doing the legs is really painful. So just do it like this. It should work completely fine, and it should look way fine in the end. So yep, just keep on pulling it down. We're just gonna move it until we hit the end of the wall, whenever we want to finish, and this is just ending. We're just gonna pull his arms both back down to his sides like that. As you can see, he runs. You can extend it for however long you want, but yeah, that's literally it. Okay, so now we're gonna do camera movements. Now you can do camera movements in stop motion, however you can do keyframes, and that's what I'm gonna show you here. Keyframes make it look really cool. So if you do a keyframe, you just gotta do the add, and you can move the little thing around. As you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm just moving it around. I do have to zoom in, because otherwise it comes out with black in the background. You don't want any black in the background, as it looks really weird and it looks like it's actually something. As you can see here, the movement starts off there. And as you can see, he's just running, and it looks like the camera's going faster than him, but it's keeping up with him, if that makes sense. So you want to keep the camera looking really good. As you can see, he's just running, and that's literally it. You can add as much camera movements as possible, like you can do like zooms and stuff, which is something I'm going to be trying to get into soon. And I'm going to be trying out this. If it works, then we might be seeing some cool camera movements. Otherwise, then we might try and do it into stop motion. We'll see. Okay, so I've launched it up, and we're going to add something in the beginning. This is called transitions, and we're going to add our own transitions. Like, watch what I do. So you see that little clip thing in the middle? We're going to click on that button, the one that's white, and we got all of these transitions we can choose from. Personally, I'm going to choose something like shake. As you see how it moves up, we're going to try and get a movement so that it looks like it's flying up, and it's like, you know. But we're going to try a different couple of transitions. We'll just show you guys a bit more about it. And yeah, you literally just chuck in something. I recommend not doing it so slow though, especially if you're trying to do like fast movement. Yeah, you just go through all these effects on CapCut, give them all a try, and yeah, just see what you can do. You never know what you can do, and it does look really cool, just finding out all of the different transitions and stuff. Like there's one that if you just push that in the bottom, then it will just literally look like it's flying up and he's like running with the camera, for example. But yeah, like all of these transitions literally they just work. So just give them a try, see which one suits the best. You don't have to do transitions for every frame. You can do transitions in stop motion. You can do keyframe transitions as well. But yeah, just literally just keep up with this and try and make it look as good as you can for transitions. Here we are. So we're gonna go back into it. We need to change the shutter because it's literally just flicking. If you are doing a dark shot though, you can turn the shutter down. That's what I do sometimes. It doesn't turn out that well because it does cause light flicker sometimes. But this is a walk cycle. So you have a couple of frames. What you want to do is you want to move one hand opposite the leg that you're moving forward to move forward. So if I'm moving the right foot forward, I will move his left arm forward, and there's a couple of frames in here. You have to balance the character in between the two studs that he's doing, as you can see right here. So I'm about to balance him in between the two studs right here. And now we're going to push full down on the other one. We're going to keep the hand movement going forwards. That needs to be fixed and just needs to be straighter. And after that, we're going to go back down and push these all the way back down. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good. It needs a bit more though, so we're going to go back to our original position, which is just going into it. Now if you see here, we can see that his right hand side was the foot, so we're going to switch it to the left hand side and put that hand, the opposite hand, going up while the other hand is going backwards. Just like that, we're just switching sides, and then we'll go back to where we were. See, I'm trying to balance it again. The balance part is very important. It makes it slowed down. Finally, I got it back on. So now we can balance them in between and then continue the frames by pushing them down fully on that leg. Make sure that they are on the same studs, and that's why you need to make sure, because of the little slider on the side, which is called onion. So like this onion thing. And yeah, just keep on doing that, and then eventually you'll get it. And it's looking okay. It's definitely not my best rock cycle. I'm just going to do a head turn just to keep it up, just to show you how much things I normally do in between. It's not really smooth, but it's not terrible either. It definitely looked like there was a little bit of a light flicker in there, but that looks completely fine. Hopefully you did learn something from this little tutorial. I will be doing an episode 2, so make sure to subscribe so you do not miss it, because that is going to be explaining how to do green screening, slow-mos, more camera movements in the stop motion section, and getting smoother movements, as well as some more editing tricks. So make sure to check that out when it comes out, and make sure to subscribe so you do not miss that video.